Hey guys, what is going on? This is Coach JR of Flying Set Boxing Academy out here in Bangkok, Thailand. Today I got something very special for you. Today I'm going to give you a video. As a matter of fact, this is going to be the only video you will ever need out here in YouTube to learn the basics and fundamentals of boxing footwork. That's right, you heard that correct. Today I'm going to give you a lot of details and how to correct your mistakes when you're practicing footwork. All right? Everything from forward movement, lateral movements, pivots, small shift angles, balance, stance, and so on and so forth. All right? So before I begin this video though, I want you to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and also share it to your friends, family, and teammates in the gym so that they too might be able to learn from this video. All right? So if you're ready, let's get it on. All right, so lesson number one, stance. You cannot begin a footwork basics and fundamentals video unless you learn how to properly do a boxing stance. But before I teach you that, I want you to find a stick, a PVC pipe, whichever the case may be, a sticky tape, anything that you can put on the floor as a straight line to guide you in walking and making sure there's always a separation between your feet when you stand in a stance, all right? So go find that right now, and when you're ready, come back. Now we'll begin how to teach you your stance. All right, so let's begin. What you're going to do first is you're going to put that PVC pipe or a sticker or a tape on the floor and make a straight line. Just like so. Now, this line will prevent you from crossing your legs as you start doing your footwork and as you start doing your forward movements back, left, and right. So let's start with the stance. If your right hand is your dominant hand, that means your stance is what we call an orthodox, which basically you have your left foot forward and your right foot as a rear foot, right? Now as you can see, this PVC pipe is separating my stance, allowing me to have a good balance. With the front foot, you want the closest part of that foot that's on the PVC pipe to be your toes. On the back end, you want it to be your heels, right? You don't want to stand too wide. This is very uncomfortable. So I usually suggest to stand as wide as your shoulders or maybe just a little bit wider depending on your weight, height, and comfortability, right? So once again, different coaches teach different styles. This is the way I teach it because I feel that this is the most easiest way to learn balance and easiest way to learn balance with your stance. So once again, I'm going to place my left foot 45 degrees, which means my toe is the one closest to the line, and my right foot also in a 45-degree angle, but it's my heel that's closest to the target. My back heel is a little bit elevated, like literally I'm talking like half an inch. That's it. You don't want to pinpoint it like this. You're going to burn off your calf muscles quick. It's not an advisable way to do it. So just a little bit off the ground is perfect. You want to make sure you bend your knees, right? So you can always like balance yourself side to side and make sure you're not standing too tall, and the moment you walk, you're just going to topple over, okay? Now, why do I teach the 45-degree angle stance? It's because I find that if I teach, or if the person's foot is straight forward, it is very hard to break, especially when you're doing faster movements. I feel that if you involve the outside blade of your foot a little bit more, then you can have a very good stopping system from your front foot. And that goes for your back foot as well, all right? Now, you're also wondering, okay, now we have our stance correct. Once again, this PVC pipe was served as an imaginary line later on to always make sure that our stance, that we have a space in between our legs when we're standing. We never want to stand in one straight line like this. This is very bad for your balance. If you get hit, you'll topple over easy. We don't want that. So basically with this kind of stance, you're able to shift your weight all over and not fall over as soon as you get off balance. All right? After you've found your comfortable stance, the first drill that you are going to do is what I call the rocking drill. So basically the rocking drill is as simple as shifting your weight to the back foot or back leg, and then shifting your weight to the front, back, front, back, front. What this does is that it introduces your weight to both legs in a boxing stance manner. We don't normally stand that way. We usually stand like this, and we're very comfortable with like walking left and right, no problem. But in this case, especially if you're a beginner, this is not natural. So basically, all I want you to do is shift you can put your hands down or behind your back and shift your weight back, forward, back, forward, back, forward. And in doing so, you also have to learn how to start breathing accordingly to your actions. So here's what we're going to do. When we shift back, you're going to inhale through your nose, and when we shift forward, you're going to breathe out of your mouth. It looks like this. Do this for 30 seconds each, anywhere from 2 to 3 sets per time. This is a good warm-up. Get the blood flowing and make your legs a little bit more flexible, and just keep transferring the weight forward and back. All right, so now we got our stance going on. This is just the bottom half, okay? We're comfortable, we're warm. Now we're gonna get on the basic guard. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to place both of your elbows close to your rib cage, just like so. Imagine as if there's a ball in between, right in front of your chest, and you're squeezing that ball. Do not hike your shoulders up like this. We don't want that. That makes you stiff. You want the shoulders drop and having your elbows pointing downwards as if it's a number 11. This is too wide. We don't want to flare our elbows, so you want to keep the guard this way. Now also, as you're bringing the guard up, you don't want to show them your entire chest. This is a big surface area for them to hit easily. So you want to cut the target in half. So basically, if your footwork, if your stance is on a 45-degree angle, you're going to face the same way, hiding these very important parts of your body and your face. So you don't want to do this. This is like defensive movement. We want to be a neutral guard, which means you're ready to attack and defend at the same time. So how we're going to do it, I'm going to give it sideways. Your right hand will just go over above your jaw to your cheek line, to your cheekbone. Your left hand is in the same line, but it's not touching your cheekbone. It's right in front of you right here. So one hand right here, one hand right here. Close your fist softly. Don't ball up the fist right away too hard, otherwise you're going to start stiffening up your shoulders, and we don't want that. Just like so. From the front it looks like this. From the left it looks like this. Once again, do not hike your shoulders. So from this position, now we have our guard. We want to make sure that the elbows are tucked in, shoulders are relaxed. You want to do another 2 sets of the rocking drill back and forth with the breathing technique while you're on guard. So let's do 10 times. Ready? Inhale through your nose, exhale out of your mouth. Exhale. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do not drop that back heel on the floor as you're doing this technique. 8, 9, 10. So get used to the stance that you have with your guard up and shifting your weight back and forth. Okay? All right, now that we got the stance down, we will start moving forward. I'm going to start at the very end part of this PVC pipe right here. Once again, making sure that my stance is correct. I'm not crossing my legs. There's an imaginary line between. My heel is off the ground. I'm 45 degrees. My shoulders are not hiked up. And I got a number 11 with my guard. Right hand close to the jaw and left hand in front of your face. Not in front of your nose, it's in front of your face. The same line as the side of your face right here, protecting your cheekbone and your jaw. Now, when you walk forward, okay, you will always start with your front foot. So that means you're going to push off the back foot, step forward with the front foot first, and then follow with the back foot. The easiest way to remember this is that you always want to finish the way you started. So if my stance was this wide when I began this whole walk, when I step, I don't want to bring the back foot too narrow or too close up like this. If I started like this, I'm going to finish the same way. Okay? So small steps. Do not take gigantic steps like this. Always make sure that at all times you're fully in balance mode. Okay? So let's drop the hands for now. Let's just focus on the legs. All right? My entire balance is in the middle. I'm not standing too tall. I'm not crouching down too low. Just comfortable. My legs, my shoulders are down. I push with my back foot. I step. So every single step requires two steps, which is your front and your back. The front allows you to advance forward, and the back to adjust your back in your original position. Okay? So from the sideways, it will look like this. So I go step, step, step. All right? From the very beginning, you want to include your breathing techniques right away. One of the most common mistakes that a lot of practitioners do not do in the beginning is to breathe while they're practicing their movements. What happens is that they think too much and they hold their muscles and they can't breathe. Wrong. We want to be able to apply the breathing techniques in the beginning as soon as possible. So, every time you step, you're going to breathe out. Watch. Every time you breathe out, you relax your muscles. You're set for the next movement. As you can see, my body is not moving this way. It's still on a 45-degree angle. Nice and relaxed. I'm not doing the guard yet. I'm just focusing on the legs. Once again. So, proper stance, pushing with my back foot. It's my front foot that always goes out first. All right? So, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Also, another small detail that I want you to follow is this. When you're stepping forward, try not to step with your heel first. When you step with your heel first, because it's a smaller part of your foot, once you shift your weight forward, you might not be able to catch that forward momentum quick enough, and then you'll fall over. It's always easier to step with the ball of your foot or your toes first as you're stepping. I'm not doing this, I'm doing this, right? So watch it again. I'm stepping forward with my front foot on the ball of my foot or on my toes, and then followed by the back foot. Maintaining the same stance with an imaginary line in the middle. Now all you gotta do is apply that same guard and the breathing that comes with it. Try not to look down as much as you can, and try not to cross this line when you're stepping. Maybe if you're a beginner, once in a while you look down to check on your stance that you're not stepping on that PVC pipe or that tape that you set for yourself. Once again, at 45 degrees, hands are relaxed. Step with the breathing. That's it. Forward movement is that easy. Now, backward movement is just the opposite. If I started with my front foot when I was moving forward, this simply means that I will start with my back foot when I start moving backwards. But here's the thing. I'm going to correct this right now because this is going to be an issue later on. When you move backwards, the one thing you don't want to do is drop that heel. If your stance is nice right here and you drop that heel, you automatically stand too tall and your feet get heavy. Your balance is all the way to your back foot, which is not a good thing, right? Okay, let's get back to this PVC pipe again. So now I'm starting in the very front of the PVC pipe. I'm going to walk backwards now, so which means I'm going to push off my front foot, start with my back foot, 1 and then 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm going to bring it back in front. I'm not going to do the guard yet, just focusing on the feet completely. Once again, do everything with the ball of your foot or your toes. I push off the front foot. Here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Nice and relaxed. Let's do that again, okay? Follow me. Bend your knees. Weight is always in the middle. We're not dropping the back heel as we move backwards, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Now, when you're very comfortable with moving backwards just by working your feet, obviously now you can add your guard again. So keep your hands up, chin down, eyes forward. Breathe as you step. Breathe out as you step back. 1, 1, 1, 1. Now dropping the back foot. I'm going to show you how it is from a sideway perspective. I'm right here. So 1. See my legs. My leg distance are always the same from where I started to where I finished. Step back, step back, step back. Do it from this angle. Step back, step back, step back. So try practicing your forward and backward movement first for at least 1 round. If you want to focus simply on your forward movement for now, that's fine. If you want to mix it up, that's fine as well. So start with the forward and backward movement. Make sure you're not falling all over the place. This is one of the common mistakes that you will find whenever you do this. That just simply means your legs are not used to the movement first. So make sure you get used to the movements before you proceed to lateral footwork. Okay? Start practicing now. All right. Now that we've got our stance down in our forward and back movement, now we're going to move on to our lateral movements, okay? So I'm going to show you how to do the lateral movements properly. But first, let's get back into our proper stance. So once again, I have both of my feet 45 degrees, space between my legs. My knees are bent, and my back heel slightly lifted up. I got my guard up here, or if you choose not to have a guard for now, that's fine. When you're walking laterally, you want to make sure, number 1, that you're not crossing your legs, all right? So if we're moving to the left, you want to make sure you move your left first. If you're moving to the right, you're going to move your right foot first. So very easy, right? No guard for now, just the leg work. So moving to your left, 1, then follow with the right. Always making sure that you finish how you started with your stance. One more time, I step to the left, then my right follows. Keeping that imaginary line between your legs. I'm right here, I move to my right, same thing. I move to the right, same thing. It's actually very easy. Just make sure you're not taking big steps so you don't get off balance, all right? So coming back to the center, now I'm gonna put my guard up, 1 hand close to the jaw and 1 hand in front of your face. Shoulders are never hiked up too much like this. Always drop and nice and easy. Jaw down, eyes forward. So I'm moving to my left, step, step. Moving to my right, step, step. See that? My heel's always, my rear heel is always up. Step, 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 step. Okay? Just make sure as you're stepping sideways that you're not turning your body and start exposing that big surface area. You always want to have your target cut in half so that the opponent hardly sees that. All right? Never open up like this. Keep your guards up, nice and easy. Step, step, step. Step to the right, step to the right, step to the right. Always with my balance to the center. I'm not falling forward, backward, left, or right. I'm going to show you how to do that from a sideward perspective. So I'm right here. Boom. See, my body's not shaking all over the place. I'm right here. Right here, right here, right here. Never crossing your legs. So lateral movement is very easy. Just practice that 1 or 2 rounds, and then you can mix it up with the forward and back movements. Okay? So keep practicing. For the next round, I want you to do, if you're going to practice, do 1 round forward and back movement only. The second round, left and right, and then the third round, mix it all up. All right, welcome to the third part of our footwork video. This third part will cover pivoting to the left and pivoting to the right. Now, this is the easiest way I teach my students on how to pivot. Now, I always teach them to turn in a 90-degree angle so that they'll know how to move their body and understand the mechanics of turning by using their shoulders, their hips, and the ball of their foot. But before I begin, do you guys remember this one tool back in school that we used to like draw a circle with called the compass, where one point is the needle that you stick on the table or on the desk, and the other one is basically the pencil that you draw. So the first point sticks to the ground, the second point is the one that turns. So basically I want you to apply the same principle when you're doing pivots. The front foot hardly leaves the ground, or for now, it does not leave the ground. It's the back foot that actually turns around, right? So this is my left, this is my right. If I tell you to turn 90 degrees to your left, so which means I should be facing this way when I finish. So watch, my front foot doesn't move, my back foot moves that way, and I'm facing 90 degrees to my left. Let me back it up a little bit more so you can see my feet. So once again, I'm starting right here. So if you see what's going on, as I turn, I'm lifting my front heel so I can use the ball of my foot to turn, right? Okay, once again, I'm also using my shoulders to propel me to the direction that I want to go to. So I turn to my left, boom, okay? Now, once again, you always want to end up on the same stance that you started with. How does overturning look like? This is how overturning looks like. So this is how, I'm going to show you first how to do it properly from a front view. When I turn, I'm supposed to finish off with my stance like this, originally how I started. How I overturn, or how overturning looks like, is when I turn and I'm squared up. I don't want this, okay? Always go back to the same stance on how you started. Going to my right is the same thing. I'm just going on the inside. So I'm turning, boom. I'm right here. Same stance. How does that look like overturning? Watch. I'm right here, and my back foot is way across my lead foot. I don't have that imaginary line anymore. I'm way over here, which is going to get me off balanced when I turn, and I can't position myself for a punch or whatever the next move that I want to do. Okay, so one more time. Front foot does not move. Back foot is the one that moves. Rotate your shoulder to the direction that you want to go to, and stop exactly on a 90-degree angle. I got my guard up, chin down, eyes forward, space between my legs. I turn, boom, I finish right here. Okay? I'll show you how that looks like from the front view. So, left turn, 90-degree angle, boom, I'm right here. Turning to my right, so I'm right here, I turn. I use the ball of my foot to turn, okay? Proper without overturning, how it looks like, boom. Imaginary line between my legs, knees bent, my heel is lifted a little bit, and I got my guard up, okay? So practice, practice, practice. It's all about getting comfortable. It's all about balance. It's all about you not toppling over when you're doing these movements. And always make sure to breathe on every movement that you do. This is the key to not get too stiff and too tired too easily, okay? So next one, we're gonna do small shift angular turns. Welcome back to the final part of this footwork video. The last part is your small shift angular turns. With this particular drill, I'm gonna have to ask you to get a marker. You can use a cone, a shoe, anything that you want that you can place on the ground and make as a center marker, okay? So I'm gonna place this little cone right here. Now we've learned the 90-degree pivot turns, right? Now what we're going to do is small shift angular turns. So what is that? As I face my opponent or my marker, as I circle around, I always want to be facing him, obviously. If I step to my left, basically, once again, this is my opponent right here, the marker, right? If I step to my left without turning to an angle, that means that I'm not facing my opponent anymore. So what I'm trying to do is that once I shift, or once I step to my left, I'm gonna shift a little bit by literally, say 15-20%. Okay? That means I'm still facing him, whatever happens as I circle around him or the other way around. So I step, I shift. I step, I shift, I step, and I shift. Okay? I'm always facing my opponent. So by the time you're right here, on his side, on his left or right, you're supposed to be sideways already. Okay? I'm doing the same thing to my right. Now we're not overstepping, okay? We're simply stepping to the right and shifting our angle to face the opponent. So watch. I step and I shift my body by 15-20%. Step, shift, step, shift, step, shift. Always, always face your opponent. Okay? This is the whole idea of the workout. So watch. To my left first until I get on my 90-degree angle. Step, shift, looking forward, chin down, eyes forward. Step, shift, step, shift, step, shift. Now I'll go all the way to the other side, but I'm going to start in the center so you can see. Step, shift, step, shift, step, shift, and step, shift. All right? So you can do the whole circle. You can go the other way around. You can mix it up. You can do 2 to the left, 2 to the right. It's completely up to you. Just make sure that your balance is on point. It's all about weight distribution and balancing your body so that you get comfortable of what you're doing right now. Remember, the first thing you always have to learn in boxing is your stance and your footwork, balance, and weight distribution. Without these foundations, it'll be very hard for you to move later on. All you're doing is this. And then walking as if you're walking in the playground or in the park. Okay? So practice these movements that I just taught you. You break it down. Look in front of the mirror so you can see what you're doing wrong. Or take a video while you're doing this and review it after you train, so you can see exactly where you went wrong. Then go back to this video and compare the videos for what you're doing and what I was teaching you. And after that, I guarantee you in a matter of like a week or two of like consistent practice, you'll get it down. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning into my channel. I really appreciate y'all. Make sure you like, click that subscribe button or notification bell so that every time I post something, you're not gonna miss it, okay? Once again, this is Coach JR of Lions Head Boxing Academy out here in Bangkok, Thailand. I need you to follow my Instagram at BangkokLion_boxing coach. And you can check it out. You can check my gym out also on the IG, which is Lions Head Boxing Academy. We got a Facebook channel and all these. So tune in for the next complete series of basics and fundamentals, hopefully in the next couple of weeks or so. And I want you to enjoy your training as much as possible. Get better, and get better. Peace.